To me, this is the proper eulogy for Denise and Bettie, because it is the little boy on my album cover that they poured so much into, and I'm a product of their belief. But this record will live forever, and my grandmother and mother hence live forever. My children's children's children will know that these are the women they came from, and that means a lot to me. When Motherless came about, the Michael album was finished, and I thought it was perfect and a classic. And No I.D, the executive producer, and he's like, he's got that Chicago accent. He say, it's good, but to be a great album, we gotta go deeper. But what you scared of? And I say, man, my greatest fear already been realized. I done lost my mama and my grandmama. And he said, well, that's what it's gonna be. And my mother had been transitioned at that point about, I'd say 4 years. I just remember going there and for the first time in my life saying, my mama dead. And, I ain't nothing felt the same since I said that. My mama dead, my grandmama dead. To keep it honest, I get depressed and be feeling scared. I honestly feel like part of this hasn't locked all the way into my memorization because it just hurts so much to say. It hurts to say my mama dead, my grandmama dead. To keep it honest, I get depressed and be feeling scared. I do, because man, I have people depend on me. It's hard sometimes to be weak when everybody needs you to be strong, See, I won't prepared and never will be. To think about your death, Denise, sometimes it kill me. I still talk to her as though she's there. I know she's always with me. Her and Betty are always on my neck. But understand, she's just gone in the physical realm. And in the spiritual realm, she's with my ancestors. In the realm of energy, her energy still resides in me and my sisters. So I can accept that. I can live with that. You won't believe it, mama. I achieved it, mama. I turned these hating ass people to believers, mama. A black boy born to a teen mama, gets regarded by his people as a leader, mama. There's no way a black child born out of wedlock on the west side of Atlanta should be going around the country affecting national and local politics in a way. That's just not the narrative. But I believe that's wrong. I believe that you are absolutely capable of, and that's what my mother poured. So when I say you won't believe it, mama, I achieved it, mama. Not that she actually wouldn't believe the shit. She believed it before me. But everything you said about me has come to fruition since you and my grandmother passed. It's almost like y'all got to heaven and start volleying for me. Like, hey, check this shit out. This kid right here, the one's been stuck 10 years, we need to get him out of that rut. We need to make sure his music takes its place and it's flowered. I say you won't believe it, mama, but I've really come to realize she believed it all along. She believed it before I did. If God sent me back to normal to be next to you, I would gladly trade it all because I be missing you. I be missing hugging you. I miss kissing you. I miss all your jewels and I miss all your wisdom too. When I think of the jewels and wisdom right off the top of my head, my mother's like, you're going to be a man. And coming from Southern culture, you are the tip of the spear. You are the leader of a tribe. You are to take care of the woman that you've asked to marry or that you're involved with, that you love. So my mother would say, and I can't even know if I can put it on the words, I'm raising a man. Some days I be mean as fuck and I be meaning to. Fussing, fighting over fuck shit that be minuscule. Shay and Taj tell me that's just the Denise in you. And this in both your daughters, Mikey and Anaya too. Shay, my wife, knows me very well. And Taj is like a sister to me and a spiritual mentor. They're the two people I interact with in terms of when I'm angry and frustrated. And when I say, and it's in both your daughters, Mikey and Anaya too, I'd always thought that the temper talk would have to be with my boys, with Malik and Pony. But my boys are cool as cucumbers. They be chilling. They don't really be sweating much. But my girls, Anaya Renee Render and Michael Marie Render, they're in the spirit of Denise, My mama dead. Her mama dead. Her mama died in my arms. My mom said that wasn't fair. So the day my grandmother died, it was on a Black History celebration. Michael, my youngest daughter, was having an event, and we get to our daughter's school and we're told by a guy that we can't drive up the hill. We have to park down the hill and walk up the hill. I know he probably regrets this to this day, but I don't hold anything against him. We parked. I say, Mom, you want me to take you up? And we said, no, I'll walk. Now, this is a woman who walked 1 to 3 miles a day. She worked in her own yard. She never stopped moving. So I said, okay, we'll walk up. We were walking up the hill, and I had been agnostic for over 10 years of my life. And I can tell you that was the day that 11 years ago that I absolutely can unequivocally tell you there's something after this life. There's something, there's a greater source that put us here. My grandmother looked at me She looked past me and smiled. And I could see in her eyes, I said, she sees something. And she looked back at me and smiled and hugged me and went limp. I attempted to do CPR on her. But I knew, even as I'm sitting here performing CPR on her, she's not here anymore. Her body I'm trying to rejuvenate, but she's gone. And wherever she went with a smile. Her mama raised me. I told her she crazy. She told me one day I'm gonna be gone, Michael, you gonna see that my mama wanted you, but you belong to me. And you don't understand the sacrifice that took from me. So as we're burying my grandmother, past that moment, my mother's going batshit crazy. It's like she's just going through it. And because her mom's gone, but I remember, I'm down and fucked up too. And she said, my mama died. She said, yo, arms, that one fell. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just like, she raised me. Like, my mama dead too. She our mama. She said, no. She said, I'm your mama. I gave you to my mama because she couldn't have children. And you don't understand the sacrifice that took from me, Michael. She said, but one day you're going to understand when I die. She said, you're going to get it and I'm going to be gone. Whew. She was right. I remember being in Europe. One of the Jews had been asked to stay an extra day or so to have a business meeting with the company. And begrudgingly, I stayed. I didn't want to stay. I didn't think it was the right thing to do. My mom told me, when you marry yourself to a job or a purpose, you have to see it through. And I stayed. And on the plane, I got a call, and I answered it on the FaceTime. My mom smiled. She could hear me. I just told her, man, I love you. I'm trying to get home to you, girl. Just hold on, because if you got to go, I want to be there with you. And it just wasn't meant to be. She died a few hours before I landed. And boy, I carried that a long time. Like pulling up on Sunday nights just to tell you I apologize and mama, you was right. Like a hole in my heart and I want to call the Lord, but I don't know where to start. Yeah, Sunday nights are me and my mom's nights. So my mom would start these parties on Fridays and Saturdays. But on Sunday nights, after everybody kind of head out, it'd usually be me and her in the driveway. And we'd be sitting on the top of a trunk or in the back of a pickup truck or just right there because the driveway kind of humped over. And we'd be looking up, especially on clear nights, and just talking. And she'd just say, so what you listening to? She'd have actual conversations. And after she died, my first compulsion, the Sunday after death, was just to pull up to her house and just say, wow, the pain you told me I was gonna feel, like, Denise, God damn, I feel this shit. And it's nobody in the world I want to talk to about it but you. And I just remember looking up and just crying, just like, hey man, I didn't know. I just didn't know. The story of Solomon was so applicable to my life. There's a Hebrew king named Solomon who, there was 2 women and a baby brought before him. And both women said, it's my child. I want my child. So you see 2 women very passionate about this child. And Solomon telling his advisors, cut the child in half. And one of the mothers said no. And he recognized in that moment that only a mother with total unconditional love, agape, would be willing to see their child raised away from them and able to have the best possible life, but not die. And man, that's what my mother, that's what she did for me. Like she knew her mother was incapable because she had miscarriages, was incapable of having more children. And she knew her mother just wanted to pour everything she could into me. Man, after she died, I just understood. My mama dead. My grandmama dead. I miss them so much, sometimes I just cry and hold my head. They left the world of man like me and make sure I'm prepared to live a life to make sure my wife ain't gonna beg for bread. My grandfather gave me the pillars in terms of verbalizing them, but my mother and grandmother absolutely, lived parts of those pillars. Take care of yourself and your sisters. Don't embarrass yourself. Don't embarrass me and your mama's name. Meaning anywhere you go on the west side of Atlanta, if you ask about Willie Sherwood or Betty Cluntz, you're gonna hear stellar reviews. And don't embarrass black folks. She was a person that was like, you're going to stand on the things that you stand on. You're not gonna ask a woman to lay down with you and she be hungry the next day. I got an altar in my home to honor both of them. Just this morning, I was spoke to both of them. I asked Betty for her prayers over my generations, and I asked Niece to keep me through my trials and tribulations. I asked Denise to keep me through my trials and tribulations because she faced them herself, and I watched her overcome them. And I asked Betty for her prayers over my generations because My grandmother raised me. My grandmother helped in part raise my nieces and nephews and even my own children. So when I ask my grandmother for her prayers over my generations, I know she's prayed them. She's already prayed for Michael's children. She's already prayed for Anaya's children's children. And it's my job to make sure that as a man, I do what my grandfather did. Bring the fucking money home. Death will come like thief at night and steal your joy away. Have you asking God why you forsake your boy today? Is this a blessing or a curse or just a mother shit? No matter what, I'm numb as fuck cause I'm still motherless. And the blessing is in what you get to be and bestow and represent. And the curse, it just feels like that. It's not really a curse. You just miss them. You know, I really miss Betty and Denise. And on days when it's dark, it feels like, God damn. It'll have you asking God, like, why you forsake me? Even Jesus had to say, why have you forsaken me? And then have to turn around and say, but if it's your will. So yeah, man, hell yeah, some days this shit hard, man. It's hard not to be able to call my mama. I don't know how niggas feel about their mama, but man, it's hard not to be able to call your grandmother and it'll have you questioning God. And God's like, I'm always with you. The source that gave you to them. I'm always with you. And my grandmother told me, never forget that part. That as important as I am to you, as important as your mama is to you, that the source that sent us here, and it reaffirms my faith, no matter what church you belong to or not, there you have a purpose. This is not an accident. Well, yeah, Killer Mike is a superhero. It's like he's Bruce Wayne with the Batman suit on. You know what I mean? He's a badass motherfucker. Nobody sees the bruises except Alfred. You know what I mean? But Michael is just, man, he's just Denise's son. This is Michael. This is the pouring out of my soul, letting people know why I'm strong and defiant.